Hello, my name is Patrick Fisher, and I'm the Product Manager for SafeGuard Profiler and SafeGuard Sentinel at ACM Facility Safety. Today we'll be talking about SafeGuard Sentinel and how it can help you reduce risk in your facilities. At ACM, we're making the world a safer place, and one of the ways we do that is by looking back at past process safety events that have impacted the world and look at how industry is reacting. Over the past decade, there have been a number of major industrial disasters that have shaken the world. We're going to quickly look at what 3 expert organizations think we should be doing about these. The first is the Chemical Safety Board, an executive branch of the U.S. government that reports directly to the President. In response to the 2005 Texas City incident, the CSB made a number of recommendations, one of which was to develop an effective system of indicators to evaluate process safety performance and control process safety risks. In particular, the CSB asked the API to focus on leading indicators of process safety. The National Energy Board of Canada is responsible for any transfer of energy over provincial or international borders within Canada. In 2013, the NEB went so far as to be the first regulator in Canada to regulate process safety, saying that a company needs to develop, implement, and maintain a safety management program that anticipates, manages, and mitigates dangerous conditions. Finally, we will look at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which includes 34 member countries which are looking to find a way to cooperate to better each other. In 2012, the OECD looked at industrial disasters which had impacted multiple member countries and found a common theme that there was a failure to recognize that things were out of control at various levels of the organization, and that, in particular, the board of directors did not have the leading indicators they require to make the strategic decisions based on process safety. ACM has an answer to all of these organizations, and it's SafeGuard Sentinel, an innovative software approach to reveal danger in your plant in real time. SafeGuard Sentinel does this by starting with a risk model based on the bow tie. To build a bow tie of a potential incident, we start with a hazardous event such as overpressure or loss of containment. We then list the various causes of the hazardous event, such as equipment failures and human error. Then we list the potential different consequences of the hazardous event, such as impacts to people, the environment, finances, or reputation. This creates the bow tie shape. There's a certain risk associated with each bow tie. In the design stage of our facility, we add and document barriers or safeguards which reduce the overall chances of an undesired event. This is the risk model SafeGuard Sentinel uses, and it comes from the LOPA, Bow Tie Analysis, or PHA HAZOP. While this is great for the design stage, in reality that data ends up on a shelf and is not usable to the people running the facility. So what happens is that over the life of the facility, safeguards fail. This could be a mechanical failure, it could be operational issues such as bypasses or suppressions. In this example, an alarm which was taken credit for in the design has started jittering and the operator bypassed it. SafeGuard Sentinel picks up the bypass and automatically recalculates the new level of risk on a simple green, yellow, red graphic. In this case, the risk is fairly low. The operator is informed of the risk and is presented with a pre-configured contingency plan which can be used for a short period of time to reduce the risk to an acceptable limit. The operator implements this contingency plan and continues operating. A few days later, there's a PSV that's due for maintenance, but for various reasons cannot be repaired immediately. SafeGuard Sentinel picks up the missed maintenance information and once again recalculates the risk as fairly low. But now the original alarm starts jittering again and the operator bypasses the alarm. SafeGuard Sentinel recalculates the combined risk of the 2 safeguard failures and finds that in this case the risk is much higher than any of the single failures, and lets the operator know that the risk is unacceptable and what the operator needs to do to bring that risk down. This incident is tracked as a quantified challenge to safety systems. The calculation and tracking of this combined risk is truly unique to SafeGuard Sentinel and is a key step in making sure that we prevent future incidents. After all, almost no incidents involve just a single failure. In order to get the real-time data to compare against the static risk model, SafeGuard Sentinel connects to various systems in real time. These systems include control systems, safety systems, maintenance and testing systems, training systems, and systems that track operator rounds, along with any other electronic logging systems that's safety related. The connections are one way through OPC or ODBC, which are open standards, and SafeGuard Sentinel is not sending any data or commands back to the control systems. Sentinel calculates the risk and sends this information to users via web browsers, mobile devices, or integration with existing workflow systems. Whoever needs the risk information can now have the risk information. Let's look at a few examples where SafeGuard Sentinel could have helped. In the first, a robust vent system was recommended in the PHA but never implemented. Maintenance was missed on level transmitters, and a startup procedure was inadequate, not being followed. Each of these risks were relatively small, but combined the result was the BP Texas City event, which killed 15 people and injured another 180. In the second event, a number of recommendations from a PHA were not followed through, but the risk was quantified to be acceptable. Maintenance was missed on some critical piping, which was used as a safeguard, and finally an alarm for overdue maintenance was bypassed. The result was the 2010 DuPont phosgene release, which resulted in 1 fatality, 1 major injury, and a huge impact to DuPont's reputation as a safety leader. In the final example, fire and gas detection was bypassed to allow for welding in an area, a high-pressure trip nearby was not tested, and there were personnel in a restricted area. The result? We don't know yet, but this exact scenario is playing out around the world on a daily basis, and SafeGuard Sentinel can ensure that it will not happen at your facility. But everything I've talked about so far has been focused on operation. How can SafeGuard Sentinel help higher levels of the organization? Risk Performance Indicator, or RPI, is a new leading indicator based on the SafeGuard Sentinel calculation engine, which can sum up the individual bow tie level risks in real time and trend those risks across time. Using RPI, an organization can track process safety performance and benchmark across units, areas, facilities, or even countries without having any releases, injuries, or fires. This makes RPI a true leading indicator for higher levels of the organizations to make those strategic decisions based on risk. From all of this, you can see how ACM is addressing the concerns of the CSB, NEB, and OECD with the innovative technology that is SafeGuard Sentinel. Now we will look at the software that does all of this. This is the dashboard view. All of the bow ties for your facility are listed on the left, sorted by the highest current risk. Listed in the middle are the various safeguard failures and contingencies currently in place around your unit or facility. There's a high risk on at least 1 bow tie. Let's try to get some more information. This is the situation analysis screen. It lets the user see exactly what is wrong, what the potential consequences are, and what to do about the current risks. For more information about the bow tie, the user can click on the causes, bow tie center, or consequences. At the top of the screen is the current risk that this bow tie is exposed to. Currently, it's high or red. On the bow tie, the failed safeguard is clearly shown in red and glowing. Let's get some more information. In this case, it's an SIS safeguard that's been bypassed. If the user wants more information, such as the safety requirement specification, that's available. Although there's a high risk, a pre-approved contingency plan is presented which tells the user what can be used in place of the safeguard, what to do if the contingency is activated, and how long the system can run with a contingency. Because the contingency may not be as good as the original safeguard, Sentinel recalculates risk with the contingency. In this case, the risk is slightly above the intended design, but it's been determined that this risk is acceptable as long as the time stays below 6 hours. After 6 hours, the risk will return to red. Back on the dashboard, the screen is updated to show that the new contingency is in play. If shift change is in less than 6 hours, the new user will come on board, look at this screen, and see that there's a contingency plan in place. The user can look into the situation analysis screen and get all the information needed to make sure the risk stays low. Individual risks are tracked across time via the risk ticker at the bottom of the screen. Each tick represents 1 risk that the facility was exposed to. Gray ticks have been addressed, while colored risks are still in play. Anytime that an event occurs related to risks identified in the risk model, SafeGuard Sentinel tracks the events in a history. This data can be used as lagging indicators and as a method of revalidating the risk model on a regular basis. Reports are available which can be configured to show any data that's in the history to help with shift change, maintenance, or regulatory reporting. The Risk Performance Indicator, or RPI, is being tracked in the background, but can be viewed within Sentinel to allow trending over time, see what are the current risks, and how's the risk trending. A white paper is available which describes the RPI in detail. For more information or for any questions or concerns, please contact ACM Facility Safety at 1-403-264-9637. Thank you.